Ladies and gentlemen, I just discovered that many stockbrokers in Singapore are selling this weapon of mass destruction, and this could devastate many people's lives. And I think it is my responsibility to warn everybody about it. Please watch till the end and join me in this movement to warn more people about it. As usual, this content is for education and entertainment only, not financial advice. Let's go. So, just before I introduce to you what some companies are doing, let me give a backdrop. Last Friday, rather 2 Fridays ago, we just witnessed a insane, catastrophic wiping out of many people's wealth. 1.6 million traders were liquidated across the world, and about $19 billion were being wiped out in a crypto space. And that's largely because almost all of them have this thing, which is called leverage. So leverage is something I'm very against, and I would like to warn everybody against it. Now, I saw this advertisement on social media, and I am shocked that a very famous broker has advertised that you trade US and SGX stocks with 10 times leverage, ability to long and short, no additional spread, 5 times 24-hour local support. And I was surprised that such advertisement is allowed, and I'm surprised that such products are even allowed in Singapore. And I also did a check, more than this company, quite a few other brokers operating in Singapore actually allow 10 times leverage for contract for differences, CFD. But I don't know whether other companies actually advertise it. I think this is quite dangerous because a lot of youngsters who love to leverage don't know how to handle leverage, and this could be a weapon of mass destruction for them. And I've seen so many people's lives get devastated by leverage, and I'm very concerned about it. And I hope you share my concern as well. Now, let me say this that yes, it is true that when you have leverage, when you make money, you make a hell of money. That is true. And the attraction that they give in the advertisement seems very nice. But the risk of loss in leverage trading can be very substantial. They do, in all fairness to them, they do give some warning in the fine prints, but this is something that actually can destroy a lot of people. So let me say this, how leverage can amplify pain in the stock market is when you have 10 times leverage. Let's say with $10,000, okay, you can actually trade up to $100,000. You can control this, but all you need is the market to drop by 10%. Whatever you have, the $10,000 will completely wipe out. So if you have $1 million that you put in, you can trade $10 million worth of contracts. But if you have a 10% fall, and it can happen, okay, it can happen, that will be a total market wipeout, okay, for yourself. So leverage is a two-edged sword that is very sharp. There are some two-edged sword not so sharp, but this two-edged sword is very, very sharp. It can amplify your gains, but it also magnifies your losses as well. And it's something very dangerous. I'm actually very surprised that in Singapore we have this. I'm a bit swaku. I didn't even know that. Okay, because people like me, we invest in the plain old ways. And I'll just say this: this is what I call weapon of mass destruction. Right? It can destroy a lot of wealth across many people, and I've seen so many people destroyed by leverage. So usually, right? Usually, I always tell people if you invest in a globally diversified index or funds, you go up and down, you can ride it through, right? You can ride it through, you just hold, you can ride it through. Most of the case, if you just hold on and you have the tahan ability and the grit to be able to hold through, usually you survive it and you grow from strength to strength. But when you have leverage, that's not necessarily the case. When you're leveraged, okay, when it go down, you may hit margin call, and then you'll be forced to do liquidation at the worst possible time. Even if the market were to recover, you will not recover. So there are interest charges that will eat into your capital. And when there are high volatility situation, and nowadays high volatility situation is a lot. It's very, very frequent. So if the market were to recover from a massive crash, you may not recover. So this is what I call a weapon of mass destruction. A graphical example with a 10 times leverage, if the S&P 500 were to fall by this small little graph here by 10%, 10% is a lot, don't get me wrong. You could be wiped out totally because you got 10 times leverage. That means you borrow money and play 10 times bigger. Okay. So even 10 times market correction is not uncommon. Okay. It can happen. So a single market hiccups, can end your investment journey. I've seen so many people wipe out by leverage again and again and again. I'm warning people, do not ever touch it unless you got like huge amount of funds and then you take 5% of it and touch it, right? So it's very dangerous. So there are many cases. We've already seen what happened to the crypto world. There are other famous case in 2021. Bill Huang has a $10 billion uh, totally wiped out in days because he has excessive leverage and there was margin call and there was total destruction. Long-term capital management, very smart people, 25 times leverage brought the hedge fund to his knees. And there are some other legendary traders are being wiped out as well. If professionals, $1 billion traders cannot survive leverage, what do you think your chances are? There are a lot of people, investors at a retail level in Singapore. I don't even think they should touch stocks, let alone touch leverage, right? And some of them went to touch crypto and think that they are much better. I don't know how many messages, stories, and emails I received that talk about this kind of destruction. And I really encourage everybody, do not ever touch leverage. And if you don't know, don't touch. Nothing will happen to you. Interestingly, I found out that Europe actually banned 10 times leverage. So Europe actually kept retail leverage at 2 to 5 times, which is a lot already, which is a lot. But I didn't surprised that Singapore allows up to 10 times. Okay. MAS have issued warning that CFD are high risk speculative tools. And Money Sense has also educated investors on leverage danger. Yet I'm surprised that this product is allowed. I'm even more surprised that an advertisement come out encouraging people to take it up. I think that's crossing the line. So my encouragement to everybody is do not touch it with a 10-foot pole. Yes, you can make a hell of money, and especially in market right now where it seems to be going up and there just doesn't seem to be coming down. But I think most of people will have a disastrous eventuality when you have 10 times leverage trading. And I also encourage the the companies itself not to advertise this as a product, and also encourage the regulators to ban this kind of advertisement. Okay, I think we need to protect retail investors from these weapons of mass destruction across Singapore and Malaysia. I think this is a danger. So I really think that the people who touch this generally are the young people, and we got to warn our young people not to touch it. And I don't know how to tell you this. The young investors don't want to listen to uncle and aunties like us. Okay, I've I've came to realize that I have said this before. No, even Jesus and Buddha doesn't have 100% success in educating people, let alone miserable Mr. Lu and maybe you guys educating your young children and maybe your nephews and so on. So I just want to say that these are very dangerous. I think it need to be stopped at the company level. Let me say this from my experience. Leverage is like a heroin in bull market. Now, in bull market, if you have a market that's going up, it's very comfortable to see your counters going up higher and higher and higher. I experience this right now, and I must say it feels very nice. But when you are on leverage, you can become billionaires. At least that's how you feel. Today it goes up by 10%, tomorrow it goes up by 20%, tomorrow 10%. Every day seems like I don't need to work anymore for the rest of my life. So the excitement is like unbelievable. And this market seems to be going up non-stop with the AI boom. And then suddenly, the person felt that he's just making a hell of more money. He puts in a lot more money. His entire small little bet started with 5%, 10%, 1% of his net wealth, grow to 50%. Eventually, he take up his entire heirloom, entire family wealth, and dump inside leverage. And guess what? Suddenly there's forced liquidation because of huge volatility, because President ASEAN in US do something stupid. And guess what? Total wipeout. Total wipeout. We see this kind of case again and again. And I need to say this. Please, please, please stay away from leverage. So if I have a way around it, I would tell the regulators cap retail leverage at 2 times, maximum 3 times. I don't remember in US they allow more than 3 times leverage. Okay, here we allow 10 times leverage. I could be wrong in this, um, and and I think that there should not be advertisement of this thing. And I also need to say that if you have to touch leverage, you got to pass a comprehensive test. Okay, and there should be some assessment of whether you can or cannot stomach it. And I also want to urge everybody, please be very, very careful when you even touch 1 or 2 times or 3 times leverage. I've encountered quite a few people who came to me, and after they were devastated by leverage, it didn't just hit the financial well-being. It causes relationship breakdown. Husband and wife get divorced, and the person can't work anymore because whatever you build up over the years are all lost, and they incur some debts possibly, and they emotionally become unstable, and this become an emotional scar and things like that. It destroys much more than financial well-being. Let me remind everybody, the stockbrokers incentive structure is for you to trade. The bigger you trade, the more they make. People like me, stockbroker, don't make much money. I buy something, I hardly touch it for I don't know, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I do minor rebalancing. Okay, so if the market goes up, I only take out 1/3 of the profit. The profit maybe even maximum maybe 10-20% of the stock, and then I take out only 1/3 of it. So the and it's done very, very infrequently, maybe 3 months once or 6 months once. So people like me, the stockbroker don't like. Okay, so but on the other hand, people like those speculators, they buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Wow, these are people that make a hell of money for the brokers. So your loss happen to be their gain, right? So when you trade frequently, whether you win or lose, they make. So the system is geared in their favor when you trade. That's very against my philosophy. My philosophy, very simple, very boring. Form a financial safety net with your CPF. Then from there, invest when the market crash into globally diversified index. If you want to take a bit more risk, take maybe more risk like Nasdaq or equivalent. Okay. Above that, you want to do whatever, take small bites and things like that. Where 10 times leverage, everything is risky and you get sleepless nights. The time horizon no longer look at 10, 20, 30 years. You look at day, hours, and weeks, and the possibility of a life ruin is very, very high. I know this sounds like a broken gramophone. I'll just say this. Leverage is a weapon of mass destruction. Use it and it could turn against you. So please do not touch it. And I also encourage the regulators to look into this. And I hope that Singapore become a safer investment environment. Thank you, and I'll see you in my live stream. Bye-bye.